The Triforce of Wisdom, Link. The evil wizard Ganon has the Triforce of Power. Whoever gets both Triforces will rule this land forever. You must help me, Link.
Hey, for you, Zelda, anything.
Nice job, hero.
Hey, excuse me, princess.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 63 of Retrotopia, where we'll be talking about The Legend of Zelda, the cartoon, not one of the fantastic games. Not to give it away, but this is an interesting one. We took a look back at the 13-episode 1989 Legend of Zelda cartoon series that was part of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. But before we get into all that, we will do our plugs real quick. If you'd like to follow us, find us at linktree/Retrotopia. That's linktr.ee/Retrotopia, where you can find links to all of our social medias, the Discord, everything there. I think there's probably a feed for the show, but you've already found it if you're listening to me. So also patreon.com/Retrotopia, where for as little as $1 a month, you can enjoy some extra perks, including some extra recordings that we do and drop there. The Patreon's also free to join, so if you are new to the show and you'd like to join our Patreon, you can comment on our episodes, and I'll read your comments like I will for some of these comments that we got for this week. And we are just wrapping up the holiday season here. It is January 2nd, 2025, and I still haven't had to write the date yet, so I'm not writing it 2024 yet, but I said 2025, so that's pretty good. So without further ado, let's get into some comments, which we call the 9-bit banter box, because 9 bits makes sense and it's culturally elegant. So our first comment or question comes from Sharkbite, who asks, did you get any Lego for the festive period? And if not, why? I didn't. I did not. I didn't put any Lego on my Christmas list, but one thing I have mentioned to the Lady Beagle here is that we should. I saw like a video on Instagram one day when I was doom scrolling, and there's like a date idea where you each pick out a Lego kit. Like you go to a store and pick out a Lego kit, and then you come home and you build it as your date. And that sounds awesome for inside folk such as we. That sounds very fun. But no, I did not. But I have seen several really cool, like the Lego kits have just exploded lately with how cool they are. So hopefully I'll find one soon. Thanks, Sharkbite. And the next question comes from Guy Who Does Things, who says, hello, Sam. Please share with us what was the best winter solstice gift that you got this year, and why was it not having to deal with Brian for 2 weeks? If only. No, Brian was still after me to do this, do that. I'm just kidding. I had a really good Christmas, and I hope you all did too. Whether you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or winter solstice or Festivus or whatever the hell, I hope it was a good one and you had a good New Year's too. As far as best gift, I was excited about all the gifts that I got this year. One in particular, I would say, what came just after Christmas, but the Lady Beagle found me a t-shirt, or not a t-shirt, like a button-down shirt, kind of like a Hawaiian shirt, but it's got little Reptars on it from Rugrats, and I thought it was really cool. And then also like gift cards for bookstores, always a good deal. We actually went to the old half-price books earlier today, and it's fantastic when you got like $50 to blow and you can just find a bunch of little things to fill your shelf. So yeah, maybe boring answers, but also like spending time with my kiddos and and with my family was good. So yeah, I hope you all had a good holiday season. I know I did. So that's it for the comments. Again, if you'd want to join our Patreon and send us comments, you can ask us pretty much whatever and we'll answer it, I guess, within reason, I should say. Don't want to be do anything weird on here, heaven forbid, right? So yeah, let's get into let's have Alan soothe our souls with his sultry, dulcet tones and give us the gentleman's interlude and tell us a little bit about the 1989 Legend of Zelda cartoon.
The Legend of Zelda TV series, which first aired in 1989, transported fans into the legendary realm of Hyrule, where magic thrived and heroes rose to meet the forces of darkness. Unlike the brooding seriousness of the video games, this animated series took a grand yet whimsical approach to the story of the Triforce, evil and destiny. At the heart of it stood Link, a courageous but sometimes reckless hero, and Princess Zelda, the wise and determined royal whose wit and resolve rivaled even the mightiest of warriors. Together they ventured into a Hyrule filled with adventure, danger, and unexpected humor, with their ultimate goal clear: to stop the nefarious Ganon from seizing the Triforce of Wisdom and plunging the land into eternal darkness. In this retelling, the stakes were high, but the tone was infused with the kind of epic yet playful energy that only a truly magical world could contain. Ganon, while still a figure of malice and power, was portrayed as a bumbling villain, his every plot seemingly doomed from the start. This Ganon, clad in dark robes, seemed a far cry from his more terrifying video game counterpart. Still, he posed a relentless threat, ever scheming, ever searching for the Triforce. Yet, the true brilliance of the show lay not in the dark plots, but in the remarkable bond between Link and Zelda, a duo that defied the very laws of fate and time. Link, wielding the Master Sword and always ready for battle, was the embodiment of youthful courage, his every action driven by a deep sense of duty. But in this tale he was also impetuous and brash, sometimes leaping into the fray without thinking. Though his heart was noble, his overconfidence often got the better of him, and this flaw made his journey all the more human. His relationship with Princess Zelda, though marked by moments of impatience and playful teasing, was one of deep, mutual respect. Zelda, for all her wisdom and grace, was not a mere damsel waiting to be saved. She fought alongside Link, outsmarting enemies, devising plans, and showing that she too was a force of nature in the battle against darkness. The series masterfully wove together the epic grandeur of Hyrule's magical landscape with moments of levity and mischief. Every battle was a grand adventure, whether Link was battling the monstrous moblins or thwarting Ganon's latest fiendish plot. The animated series transported audiences into a kingdom where every corner held a new mystery, and every challenge was an opportunity to rise above. Link's epic quests were full of sword fights, magical artifacts, and the kind of heroic deeds that would become the stuff of legend. And amid these battles there was the undeniable bond between Zelda and Link. As much as their journey was a quest to protect Hyrule, it was also a journey to understand one another, with the famed catchphrase, "Well, excuse me, princess." Link's sometimes unrefined bravado would clash with Zelda's quick wit. But this playful exchange was just one facet of a deeper partnership that would echo through the ages. Through every triumph, every setback, they grew stronger together, a true testament to the enduring power of friendship and the will to protect what is right. Though the Legend of Zelda TV series lasted only 13 episodes, its legacy remains etched in the hearts of those who journeyed through Hyrule alongside its heroes. With a touch of whimsy and a heart full of adventure, the series captured the spirit of the franchise in an unforgettable way. The story may have been light-hearted at times, but the message was timeless. The fight for what is good and the bonds we forge along the way will always stand as a beacon of hope in a world threatened by darkness.
All right. Thanks, Alan. And now let's get into some comments, because some of you had some comments about this wonderful piece of media. We had a lot of comments this week, actually. Starting with Sharkbite, who says, "Excuse me, princess," which we will talk about at length, because we always thought, we had mentioned this, we always thought it was just like a one-off thing that was always in that kind of like interstitial for the Super Mario Super Show, but no, it's a bit of a catchphrase that he says multiple times per episode, and they're short episodes, so you can imagine. Yeah, really good stuff there. Next comment comes from Gaming Wifey, who says, "It's a monstrosity." You are correct, and we're so sorry that we made Alan watch all of that. Although we recorded earlier today, and he's got something a little funny to say about that. So I'm sorry that you had to binge it, Alan, or that you felt like you had to binge it. All right. Next comment is from Guy Who Does Things, who says, "This show single-handedly made me never pick up a Zelda game to this day. I figure if the games are half as annoying as the show, it's not worth my time." Jesus Christ, that's a hot take. Are you serious? You've never played a Zelda game? Give it a try. Come on. At least like the, I don't know what kind of games you prefer, but if you're listening to this, you probably like the kind of games that we like, in which case, like, let's play Link to the Past. That's a fun one. Or like Link's Awakening. I enjoy that one. Or Link's Awakening Remake. I'm just going to list Zelda games now. There's a bunch of them. So if you're looking for an entry to the series, you should let us know and we can tell you. It's definitely not this show, though. I can see why it would have turned you off. And then last but not least, Big Kid 782 says, "I am pretty sure this cartoon was based off Zelda 2 and was given the same think tank team. How did the Super Mario show knock it out of the park just to have this added to it? Even though his catchphrase stuck with us all, I'm pretty sure this is why Link has been mute ever since." Yes, we mentioned that in the show. That's a great comment, a great point. Like, someone watched this show and when they're making the next game thought, why doesn't this guy just shut the absolute fuck up? Yeah, it is an interesting show to say the least, but I won't keep you any longer. Let's get into it. Alan and Brian and I spend a good amount of time talking about the ins and outs of The Legend of Zelda, the 1989 cartoon. Not all of it's good. No, most of it's bad, but some of it's good. That's what I meant to say. So let's go. And after a little bit of music, which we actually quite enjoyed, we will get into that discussion. So we'll see you on the other side.
All right, welcome back to the first episode of 2025. We finished with The Legend of Santa, and we're starting with The Legend of Zelda, the animated series. But how do we really feel about it? Well, you'll find out. Joining me, as always, is, of course, my good British friend, Alan, and my great American friend, Sam. I almost got those backwards. Boys, how you doing?
I'll be the great American guy, Sam, for a while. I don't mind.
No, I almost said the great American Alan.
I'll be the British one in it.
No, that doesn't sound good. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, don't.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Perfect. No notes.
Dear United Kingdom, we'd like to apologize on behalf of Retrotopia.
I'm gonna hear from all of them now because of that. All of the United Kingdom, they're all gonna come here.
All of the little United Kingdoms.
And you know what? I would rather do that than watch this fucking show ever again.
Well,
yeah, it was rough.
Okay, let's start this with this is your guys' first experience of the show, right?
Yes.
Did you ever watch it before? Yeah, like this was my childhood. Like you guys are like shitting all over this show, and I'm sitting there watching, and it's like I never noticed this stuff as a kid. And it just, as I started looking at it through the lens of 2024, it's like, no wonder, like, I'm so fucked up. It's because this was the quality of cartoon that I watched as a kid, right? And I'm completely tone deaf to the problems of this show.
This is what you learned on.
Yeah. Like, you watch the Super Mario Brothers show, it doesn't go like this. Link is a special breed in that week, because it was Monday through Thursday, it was the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, and then Fridays was The Legend of Zelda. That's how we did it back in the day. Yeah.
Because I don't recall this show at all. I do remember the Super Show, though.
Right? I mean, yeah. I remember watching the Super Show when I was a kid, and I don't remember this being a part of it. So either we didn't get it over here, or I was so traumatized that I just blanked out the whole experience.
Well, maybe after the court order came through, they weren't allowed to let Link around children anymore.
Well, as well they fucking should.
Or anyone.
This guy's a predator.
Now,
Jesus.
I know, Sam, you haven't actually done the intro yet. You're going to do that next. But one of the comments...
I love that comment. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
This is the reason Link hasn't talked since.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We decided that he needed to shut the absolute fuck up for the rest of for the next 30 years.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, that happened. Let's just never do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, great times. All right, so... let's start with the positives about the show, because, I mean, once we get on the negatives, we're not going to turn back.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm going to start with the music. Let's start with the music, because that was probably the best part of the show, is that the music is true to form. It's not just some dumb shit soundtrack that sounds adjacent to The Legend of Zelda. The music and the sound effects are all from The Legend of Zelda. Like, they mimic them almost perfectly.
Yeah, it sounds like the NES game, and it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I kind of feel like, is that really a plus for this show, though, or is this a plus for the game? Because it's just like, you guys did the bare fucking minimum to get anything sort of fucking correct in this show.
That's
and
true.
the least you could do is get the music right, and you didn't even fucking create it. So, yeah, I suppose. But
Well,
guess
yeah,
it's
you
a-
got to
it's
give
a
them
layup.
credit. They could have just fucked the music up completely, but they're smart enough to actually take the music from the game and use it. Because how often do you see licensed materials based on video games and you're like, well, I don't want to use the Sonic theme, so I'm going to use this remake of the Sonic theme that sounds kind of but nothing like it?
That's fair.
And considering
I don't
how
know.
close to the chest Nintendo holds their properties...
So what we're saying is the producers of the show, by being lazy and using the music and sound effects that were already there, fell backwards into the one positive thing about the show.
absolutely.
I thought we were going to have at least one nice thing to say about this show, but Alan is just hot.
Even the nice things are shitty.
Do you know what, Nintendo? Maybe they should have held their licenses a little closer to their fucking chest.
All right, so okay, I think we're just going to drop the gauntlet and do this. So I'm gonna give a bit of the plot there, and then Alan,
I had one more positive thing if we wanted to give one more positive.
Oh, do you?
I've got the same.
I did appreciate that they kept the enemies and stuff the same, and they were recognizable too. Like there was one point where an Octorok jumped out, and right before Zelda said it, I was like, "Whoa, cool, an Octorok!" But there's Octoroks, there's Stalfos, there's Moblins, there's Keese,
the half horse, half people.
Oh yeah, those weird little centaur things, whatever they're called, and they brought them back for Breath of the Wild, and they're fucking tough. Lionels, that's what they're called. Yes, yeah. So that was a positive.
I can't even dispute that. That's
but
actually
again,
a very, very good point.
It's more stuff that's already there, right?
There you go.
All right,
One point.
I'm going to go over the plot here. It's very simple. It mimics the basic plot of the Legend of Zelda video game. You are, well, not you, I guess. In this case, you have Link, who is the hero. That's all they call him. Then you have Zelda, Princess Zelda. They have control of the Triforce of Wisdom. Ganon, the evil guy, has a Triforce of Power. There's no third piece to the Triforce in this story. If you know the lore,
there's no
of
third
Legend
piece
of
in the original game, right?
No, but if you know the story, the third piece is supposed to be with Link himself, but they never make mention of that, so it just doesn't exist. The only reason they're called Triforces is because they're triangles in this. Other than that, every episode it's its own single entity, so there's no character development throughout the entire series. Every episode starts with the same basic plot. Link wants to sexually assault Zelda. Zelda leads him on. The king tries to whore out Zelda, and Ganon just wants the Triforce of Wisdom. So
I'm on Ganon's side.
That's about it.
Oh, and if you're British or Canadian, Ganon is voiced by Burt Raccoon from the Raccoons.
Yeah, you told me that, and I was just like,
It changed it, didn't it?
You scratched my brain for me with that one because I knew that voice. And there you go. There's another positive thing because like he fucking kills it. Like, I mean, is it the best depiction of Ganon? No, I guess not. I mean, I have to admit, at first when I saw him, I thought, oh, that's a pretty cool looking henchman. Oh, it's Ganon.
Yeah.
But the voice was
Ganon himself is like Piggy or whatever.
Oh yeah, no, I get that. It's just he just seemed less. I guess I just picture Ganon as larger and more hulking and just physically imposing. As this guy's just kind of like a scrawny pig in a robe. But the voice was on point. Like I really thought that performance was one of the better. There you are, 2 points.
Yeah, there we go. If we keep talking, we're gonna come up with more points for this show. We're gonna like it by then.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be straight 11s. Do you guys remember I told you about a little bit of a fact when in episode, I think it's 4, Link uses a warp whistle?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you that's actually the sound that comes from Super Mario Brothers 3. And you guys were like, what? Yep. And I told you I was actually holding something back. Do you know where else that song plays? The introduction to Ocarina of Time plays that same song.
Yes, it does.
Just a little bit slower.
Oh, it is slower.
Yeah.
Whoa. You know what?
Told you I was holding back the big one.
That is a point for you, Brian.
Yeah, and another point for the show.
No,
No, we'll give an extra point to Ocarina of Time when we get to it, just for that.
So I'm going to yield the microphone, probably go make myself a sandwich or maybe a 4-course meal, because I'm going to give it to Alan to give us his description of Link.
Oh.
Because I think you've been waiting for this.
Oh, my God. So, Link, any Link in any game is always just a bastion of courage and integrity and heroism, no matter what Legend of Zelda game that you're playing. I feel like I'm doing a fucking GI right now. No matter what Legend of Zelda you're playing, like, he is the hero. I tell you what he isn't, a fucking sexual predator. Because in this fucking series, the entire way through every single one of the 13 fucking episodes, he is constantly constantly trying to force himself on poor Zelda there. And I know what you're going to say, Brian. I'll give you your chance, but it is so fucking cringeworthy. And why take this mute hero, which you could literally do anything with? Okay, that's the point of a mute hero. You can make him whatever you want. And these guys decided, you know what? Straight up pervert. That's the way we're going to go with this. Like, I think that says more about the creators of the show than it does about anyone else. And I am flabbergasted. Who do I complain to about this?
You go straight to Nintendo. Sue them for once.
Oh,
You know what? You know what kind of occurred to me is this is a time. I think of that line in Wayne's World where they have like the arcade owner on, and they're like interviewing him or whatever, and he's saying like, or maybe this is like the boardroom meeting, but basically it boils down to this is like an executive, and he thinks that kids are stupid, right? This is a show made by adults who think that kids are stupid and aren't going to know any better and are just going to eat this shit up because it's IP or it's
You've
like
described
it's the thing
the
they
entire
like.
1980s cartoon scene. Buddy.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Kids
Sam,
know.
kiss me.
Yeah, I will. I will. But it's like this is kids know dick in a nutshell.
Well, it's funny that they use the "Give Me a Kiss, Princess" as the running gag, where every time Zelda says yes, and she says yes quite a bit. They don't actually kiss because something interrupts them, and that's supposed to be the funny thing. As a kid, I remember that being kind of like a dumb premise. Like, who friggin' cares? I want Link to use his shotgun sword to shotgun people. But as an adult, you're right. It's friggin' creepy. Actually, what's creepier than that is when Link, who lives higher up than Zelda, just leans over his balcony and stares right into her room.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, that is some piss poor castle design. And then there's one episode where Link's like, I'm going to go down there, and he shoots an arrow with a rope to sneak down. And the king comes up. Yeah, the king comes up and catches him and goes, if you're going to kiss her, bring her flowers. And it's like, you fucking pimp.
Don't. Honestly, because there I am thinking, this is getting fucking weird. This is getting creepy. And just as he's about to swing in, the king turns up, and I'm like, all right, you're fucking cool now, you little fucker. This guy will sort you out. He'll teach you a lesson, he will. And he sure does. No, he teaches you, if you want to force yourself on my daughter, you better bring flowers. Good luck. It's like,
yeah.
And at that point, I genuinely threw my hands up in the air and just like, you know what, I'm Team Ganon. I'm Team Ganon.
Yeah, and that's why I've been Ganon the whole way through. That guy only wanted one thing, and that was a Triforce of Wisdom. Just because he was a complete moron to get it. Like, we'll get into Ganon, but we're going to stay on Link right now because there's a couple of other things. There is something I do appreciate about Link, is that they didn't turn him into a complete idiot, so when it came to actually fighting, he was pretty good. Otherwise, he would have just been some comic relief, and considering how funny he wasn't, it's good that they at least gave him one attribute where he was competent.
I guess.
Like, I'm not saying this as a positive.
Yeah. No, I found him getting in himself into trouble that he couldn't get out of more than not, and actually I found Zelda to be more of an active badass protagonist than Link was. Link was such a disappointing limp dick. Like, it's just awful.
Well, that was the part I hated the most. Why was Link even there then if Zelda could do this all on herself, like her own?
No, Zelda's fucking awesome.
No, yeah, she's
Zelda's
sitting there
beast.
killing. Like, it was so inconsistent. Episode 1, Zelda's like backflipping, hitting the old enemies there and just throwing boomerangs and arrows and crap like that. And then episode 2, she's like, hey, Link, help me. I'm all of a sudden weak and I can't do stuff. And it's like, what? Pick a fucking lane, Zelda.
Well,
oh, sorry. She did pick a lane. Her lane was treating her entire castle as if they were cleaners.
That's true. She kept making everyone do goddamn chores all the time.
Yeah. You guarding the
fucking
Triforce?
layabout Link was like just not earning
his
keep,
entire job is to guard the Triforce, and it's like, you need to go dust the dungeons now.
Yeah, we need to make him do
can't even
spring
do
cleaning.
that right.
But
No.
where the fuck are all the other guards in the kingdom? Like, how come all these fucking bad guys can just pop in through the floor at any time of the day and walk right up to the Triforce?
But no
Like, what
kidding.
was it,
Are we-
like-
at any point, are we going to lock this in a safe, or are we just going to
Yeah.
hang out with it in the middle of the room?
And, like, I know I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but I don't want to get onto the enemies right yet. But sticking with Link, so I'll pull myself back.
I got
that sword
one
of his.
more. I got
Yeah.
one more observation about Link and his relationship to other characters. How creepy and weird is Sprite too? Like,
Oh,
his little
she's
fairy or whatever.
basically Link, the woman version of Link, because she's all thirsty for Link.
Oh,
Yeah,
she
that's
is
what-
a tiny pixie with a big thirst.
I was saying, like, I think I messaged it to you guys when I was watching the first few episodes. I was like, Sprite, obey your thirst. That's where they came up with the slogan for Sprite.
Oh, shit,
fuck.
that is good.
Bravo.
She's gross though. It's just like, what would you even do with him? Like, can we just speculate
Oh.
on this for a moment?
Well,
No,
okay,
it's
I can, because on episode 1, scene 1, fucking Link is Donald Duck in it, and you don't see no dick, so it can
Oh,
fit in
that's
Sprite.
right.
He's backflipping over it's everything. You don't hear like that sound
got
flopping
a-
dick all over the place.
He's got a micropeen, so actually he's perfect for Sprite.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm ashamed that I said
you-
that immediately.
You guys are literally a fucking walking Rule 34.
Hey, I bet you if I look up Rule 34 Zelda, I probably would never talk to you guys again.
I don't think I'd talk to you either.
All right, let's do what Link wants to do and get on Zelda.
Okay.
Segue.
Literally,
Oh, so we're
I would
Link
argue
now?
probably-
We're all trying to get on Zelda?
Well,
kiss me.
Excuse me.
Okay, yeah, so that is fucking creepy. Like, everything, like, oh, I beat the monsters, kiss me. Unfortunately, my problem with Zelda is she occasionally says yes. And it's not that, she's not entitled to say no, it's that you can't keep leading on Link by saying, yes, let's have a kiss. And one point, she even jumps him. Like, she jumps him, tackles him to the ground, and mounts him. So I get where Link is kind of friggin' confused at this point. So Zelda is not any better than Link. She's the victim, but she's also the enabler.
I guess, but at the same time, it's just like, I have zero sympathy for that little fucking green pervert.
Neither
and,
do I, but...
Like, if it were me, I'd fuck with him as well, just to like ruin
Yeah,
his
but
day. 'Cause-
okay, well, you can't say I'm going to fuck with the sexual assaulter there and then be surprised he sexually assaults you. I mean, oh, look at me, I'm
dude-
waving my titties around, and it's like, why are
the
you
guy-
so fixated?
Well,
the guy literally ties them together and says he's not going to let her go until she kisses him.
yeah.
Yeah, but she
That is a thing.
not good.
That is a thing that happens in this series.
She jumps on top of him and says, okay, let's kiss. And then, of course, the trope where they don't actually get to do the kiss. And then later on, she's like, ew, no, you disgust me now. And it's like, well, pick a lane.
Well, here's the thing. She loves him. Spoiler alert for episode 13, because she can
Yeah.
only see his like ghost form. Because
That's
when he
episode
gets-
12. God.
Is it 12? I thought it was
Yes.
13.
No, 13
Oh,
is where
well-
the Moblins revolt.
Nope, it's opposite. Unless they switch the order on my.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember the Moblins revolting being
Yeah.
earlier.
So
No,
And that-
I just literally finished watching the entire series this afternoon.
Maybe
well, it's out of order in Canada.
definitely is.
Oh, it's on French time, I guess.
But here's the other thing that's goofy and what doesn't work about the like "Oh, kiss me princess," and then they get interrupted, right? If you're like, let's just say you're gonna give your wife a little smooch. If you get interrupted, is that not just like a temporary setback, and you can just be like, oh, okay, well, we're still standing here, right? Like, what?
Yeah,
I
but
like how
you
it's
can't
just an
have
absolute-
overtly Yeah. No, you're
I
right.
know,
you're
I
right.
understand
it's like
it,
the
but it's
dumbest
just
trope.
like-
They could have done stuff
logically
better.
it doesn't
Like,
make sense.
there was no reason to have Link thirsty for Zelda like that, and there's no reason to have Zelda be such a thunder cunt.
You know why though? Is because again, kids are dumb, And
Yeah.
if it's a boy and a girl, the boy and the girl have to like each other, and that's how
I
kids shows
don't know
work.
why every time back then they wanted to depict a strong woman, she had to be a bitch to every man or everybody around her. Like, that was just the thing back then. Like, I can't pull examples off the top of my head, but I just feel like every time in the 90s or the early 80s, or sorry, late 80s, early 90s, they wanted a strong woman then, it was always that she was a bitch. And it's not that Zelda lacks the ability to take care of herself, it's just that she has to be a bitch on top of it to show how strong she is and independent.
See,
Right,
I don't know.
Yeah, because strong
know,
means mean somehow.
Because, like, she can handle herself, which is something that I did really appreciate about this series. It's just like, we didn't really see that until, like, spoilers, Ocarina of Time. And for them to be doing that this early, I mean, this came out after Adventures of Link, I believe. So that's the second game. And she's not really a character.
No, this is the first time Zelda's being depicted on Legend of Zelda Medium as
And I like how
character itself.
I like how her
Yeah.
magic bow appears like immediately. Like that's her weapon, and that's been her weapon pretty much ever since.
But, you know, I think
Especially-
she's only
yeah.
really a bitch to Link.
No, she's kind of a bitch to other people, but she's directly targeting Link for the series. And I'm not saying like targeting Link for any particular reason, but for the series wise, she just takes it out on Link.
Well,
Yeah.
all right.
Well, he does kind of.
I mean, I know how much you just want to absolutely love Zelda and give her kisses and you're jealous of Link right now.
Well, excuse me, Brian.
Oh man, we're gonna kill that joke. We're gonna just drive it right into the ground.
Do you know what? We might as well just address the elephant in the room, because I'd never seen this series before, but I've seen memes. So I'm
Yes.
watching this series, and it rolls around the first time. Excuse me, princess, and I'm like, aha! I like memes. That's
It's
the
like,
meme.
oh, he said the thing.
Yay, good times. And then he said it again. I'm like, okay, you know, he's said it again. And then with a grim dawning realization, I came to realize that, hang on, this is a fucking catchphrase. And oh boy, did it wear out its welcome very, very quickly.
Yeah,
The
I
worst
ran it
catchphrase
through.
ever.
I ran it through ChatGPT a few times there just to see if I couldn't get an official count. It says somewhere around 29 times. It does not have an official count, and that doesn't include the one that happens every introduction.
Yeah, that's right. It does happen in the introduction.
Yeah.
This is the only my only exposure to this show was before watching it this week, obviously, was watching the Super Show and then seeing like, let's see what's happening over in Hyrule, and then it was always the same like introduction preview for Legend of Zelda, and it was that same like, yeah, excuse me. It's like, oh, that's
That's
off-putting. I don't want to watch
Yeah.
that.
It's so obnoxious.
Yeah, it does wear thin really fast. Like, it is funny as the meme there when you don't know what's going on, but yeah, the more you hear it, I don't ever want to hear it again.
Yeah,
I definitely don't
there
want
were
somebody
episodes
in the
where he did it
Discord
like
to
4
change her
times.
name to that.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Hey.
want that either.
I did change my name on Discord, and apparently it's caused quite the stir.
Yeah, I'm
over
kind of
in the
watching
chat
it right
there.
now as we talk. So, but
Yes, Sergeant Ombre, a name change in the middle of a recording.
all right, do you want to
Very
take a
suspicious.
bit of a break from the vitriol there, and I'll go over some interesting, well, quote unquote interesting facts I found online?
Yes.
Please.
Yeah, well, obviously the series aired only 13 episodes as part of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show in 1989, where it was featured every Friday, at least here in Canada, apparently. The Excuse Me Princess, which we just talked about, became a meme, obviously we just talked about. And it's loosely based on the game, so it's Zelda's adjacent, so it uses the lore, the characters, and all that kind of stuff, but it's not actually based on either of the games. It was also the first appearance of Zelda herself in the series as a character, as opposed to just a somebody to go rescue. Ganon was voiced by Len Carlson, who deep menacing voice added character over the character's over the top villainous persona. Len Carlson was also the voice of Burton the Raccoons, which is where I first heard him. Sprite's role was an original character for the show, and then obviously the fairy became a character for other games.
Wait a second.
Oh,
so
you'll
we
like
saying
this-
there's a direct line from Sprite to Navi?
No,
and,
but
and
I think some of the ideas went forward.
Navi
Here's a
is
fact.
bad, but Fee is the worst. Sorry, I have to just.
Here's one you guys are going to have a little bit of a knipshit about. The show highlights Link's constant attempt to earn a kiss from Zelda, providing a comedic dynamic absence from most games. Comedic being the word that I figured would set you guys off.
I'm
There
still
is-
laughing about it. It was well done.
It was well done. The Triforce speaks in this, which is something that doesn't really happen in the games. Not anyone I can think of.
No.
It shares a universe with the Mario universe, because there's cross references and promotions between that and the Super Mario show. Other than that, there is absolutely nothing worth mentioning that we haven't already mentioned.
I'm still stuck on that. Why is there only 2 Triforce pieces?
Absolutely.
It's just weird.
And they never really maintained a good shape or size. They all just seem to kind of be
Oh my
some
God,
sort
yeah.
of weird trapezoid or a square.
Not to mention one episode, Zelda's carrying it on a chain as it floats behind her. In the next episode, I can't remember what character is like, this thing's too heavy, I can barely lift it. And it's like, pick
Yeah,
a
what the
fucking
fuck?
lane.
Yeah,
I
like
think
she's carrying it around like a balloon.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be because it's on that chain, right? It's a magic chain. It's a
Possibly,
magic chain from
but-
Magic Land that turns Triforces into balloons.
Balloon. But, oh God, you know what episode really kind of got me? And the episode where that White Knight shows up.
Yeah.
Oh, what was,
Yeah.
what was his name?
Sir Facade.
Facade. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just, which didn't go anywhere.
No, he was like an absolutely useless character. He shows up, Zelda completely dismisses Link at that point. It's like, haha, you're just a piece of crap. And then all of a sudden Zelda falls in mud and the White Knight's like, oh, I can't get my white outfit dirty. And then all of a sudden she turns on him too. It's like, Link, come help me now. Like, fuck. Zelda, I thought you were a strong, independent woman. Fucking
No,
sort
Link is
yourself
good
out.
enough now.
Yeah.
Do you know what? You know how I know that Link is not only not good enough, but is the villain of the entire series.
Ooh, I like this theory
is
already.
Later on in, was it episode 12 maybe? Well,
We've
in
determined.
my order anyway.
Yeah, we have to.
The Moblins revolt. So the Moblins capture Ganon in his own unbreakable bubble and throw him in an endless pit.
I know where you're going.
Oh, mate. And then they go to besiege the castle, and obviously they're fucking hopeless at it. So Link and Zelda think, oh, well, Ganon's gone, let's go and get his piece of the Triforce. It is a walking fucking victory. But oh no, fucking fairy boy there decides he'd rather play volleyball with Ganon and knock him onto the only thing that can get him out of the bubble, being the Triforce piece that they're there to get, and completely ruins all hope of Hyrule being at peace forevermore. And what does he have to say for himself?
At least I have a job.
Excuse me, Prince. No, you do not get to excuse me out of this one.
His
fucker,
last
because-
line was literally, at least I still have a job. Of that episode. Yeah, it was just like, that's what caught me about that episode. But I also love how Ganon's like, I can't use magic outside the bubble, so I'm going to fart so it floats up. And he creates a fart bubble inside so it floats up.
It's an interesting interpretation of what happened, but I'll go with it.
Yeah.
This whole fucking series is a fart in a bubble.
Yeah.
It popped right in your
was
face.
What was the other one? when the king wants to make a water park there, and all of a sudden all the knights are laborers, and like the castle's completely unguarded, right? Because all the knights are out building this water park, and then
All the knights that haven't been there for the rest of the fucking series doing their jobs.
And we're going to get into that in a minute there, because I want to talk about King Pimp Daddy. But that episode is funny because the king's just like completely aloof about everything. It's like, oh, there's monsters there. Screw it. And then he gets kidnapped, and at the end of the episode, it's like, I've made a deal with the Fairy King. We're going to not use their water, which was the whole problem. And we're going to use magic water, which was always a solution.
Seems like the easier way to go, frankly. It's just like, if that was there, then why not just use it?
Yeah, it's like, it's the dumbest plot of the entire series, and this is not setting a high bar for plots. Like,
Yeah,
Why
that's
didn't
not
you just
saying
use
much.
the magic water? I don't know. Would you like to go and fuck my daughter instead?
yeah, if you bring her flowers, it's going to unzip her pants automatically.
This fucking
Don't
guy.
go alone. Take this.
Oh man, I tried to highlight
brilliant.
all the stuff in the series that I thought was dumb, but I ran out of highlighter ink. So
Yeah. I you know what? I believe you.
oh god, I even wrote the word positive next to things, and I highlighted it green, and I only did that once. And we already talked about it. The positive being the enemies from the NES game. Like
Yeah.
I took notes on every
that's pretty much
episode,
it.
and as I went along, the amount of notes I took came shorter and shorter and shorter.
As
Except for
short
this
as
one.
short
I
as
found
Link's
it.
sword.
Yeah, that's the other thing, and it's not even the Master Sword, because I don't think that existed in the original games. But
No, but I tell you what, I've got to give him credit for this, because as far as I can tell and as far as I can remember, if you look at the Adventures of Link, I'm pretty sure that's the sword that's on the cover for that game.
Yeah, let me see. I'm gonna look that up.
looking up stuff.
Look it up. Look it up.
Zelda
Adventure of
NES.
It kind of does look like it, yeah. The
Uh.
Adventure of Link.
Oh, the Adventure of Link.
Yeah. Good game,
There's
by the way. I
somebody
don't care what
sitting.
anyone
Yeah,
says.
there's somebody sitting on a bus right now, just like, would you guys just fucking hurry this up?
It's a fucking weird game.
I like that game.
Do you?
Yeah, so we should cover. We should do
really
that.
Should. I would like to play it at some point.
I loathe that game.
Oh, it'll be a good episode then, won't it?
Yeah.
Maybe you can be the one who's spitting fire.
You know, at some point we're gonna pick a good game or something just to cleanse ourselves of this.
No, you know what? I'm actually pretty happy about this because I feel like all we've been doing recently is very, very good and positive reviews, and this is catharsis for me.
Well, this wasn't even in the plans to be a negative thing. I thought it'd be a fun little jaunt into the history of, video games and media, and then god damn, this just turned on me.
No, it's just bad.
But
it's just.
But
bad.
I want to go to episode 9 because I actually made a comment here I think is kind of funny. But episode 9, Stinging is Stingers, what the title is. It's giant bug controls Ganon, causing chaos in the kingdom. Sorry, a giant bug controlled by Ganon, not controlling him. So Link and Zelda find a way to defeat it by going, I think, underground to... I think that's the one? Oh, maybe it's episode 8. Like you said, they're out of order. But anyways, in the episode, Zelda pulls out a rope, and it's a very tiny rope, and it grows in her hand. And I wrote the comment here, I think that's Link's motivation for the kiss.
Oh,
I'm so
in that
glad.
episode,
I'm so glad you had a chance to say that, Brian.
I know, I wanted to set it up better, but I'm kind of looking at a synopsis of the episodes. I'm like, that doesn't work. That's not where it was, because they were underground. Anyways, I screwed it up, but you know what? I wrote the comment. I do not regret it.
Oh, nice.
Fair.
No, I that episode is interesting too because I caught the bug that he's fighting with the pincers and stuff is Goma, and do you recognize that from anywhere?
I do. Ocarina of Time.
Yep, the first boss from Ocarina of Time is Goma or Queen Goma, and that ends up being
See?
Crops up in a few of the games, I think, as well. Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
My nonsensical
Yeah, it's a Wind
ramblings
Waker,
have led us back into a conversation. So
Yeah, there we go.
How about the
Sam?
doppelganger episode where there's two Zeldas? Did you catch the fact that the animators couldn't remember which one was which?
No,
So
I didn't.
basically, you just have like our quote unquote Zelda just changing her outfit every couple of scenes because they couldn't remember which one was which.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was.
It's a lot to keep track of. What do you expect?
God, that episode ended so dumb with the old trope there. It's like, shoot him, no him, I'm the real one. Except for it was like, give me a kiss, Zelda. And she's like, sure thing, big boy. And he's like, real Zelda would never kiss me. And he kills her.
So he knows.
Yeah, he knows he's wrong. He just doesn't.
Yeah, that
care.
shows. Yeah, it shows that he knows that he is being a creep.
Oh, man. Okay, I wrote another quoted line down. At the beginning of the episode of the water park one, it starts off with Zelda saying, "It sure is hot today, isn't it, Daddy?" I don't know why I wrote these quotes down, and then Sam brought this one up. I think it's the same episode. You called for a hero? Yes, but I guess you'll have to do.
Yeah, I love that.
That is cold.
That is the fucking
cold.
best burn of the entire show.
Yeah.
Yep.
Eat it, you fucking sexual predator. The whole fucking castle is on a registry because of you. You notice there's no schools around that castle. That is on purpose.
Fuck no.
Also, no kids running around.
Predator.
Here's another thing that I noticed is so Zelda procures that magic bow. She just like kind of whips it out of thin air, which is what she does in the games afterwards. I think it was interesting that this is kind of the first time we see Zelda with a bow, and that really becomes her weapon, is shooting the light arrows, right? But
yeah.
Did you notice that sometimes it's a regular bow and sometimes it's a crossbow?
It's a crossbow.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Like the crossbow of light. Like it just doesn't have the same ring to it.
No.
It's probably because they had different kids in Korea animating different episodes.
I almost spit out my coffee.
I have to imagine, like, because everything is like beams and lasers and what have you. Because I guess you can't like have people stabbing or shooting.
No,
even
like,
monsters.
G.I. Joe
like
and
that.
Transformers didn't use bullets for this sole purpose that back in the 80s you couldn't actually show real ammo being used.
Right. That's why, like,
That
even
makes
in X-Men, there was like laser guns and stuff.
And Spider-Man, the animated series.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's got a fucking laser for some reason.
Right.
That's another good show.
Couldn't make it too real.
That's a good show. That's a good show. Not like this show. Fuck.
Yeah, I want to watch a good cartoon next. Can we watch a good cartoon next?
Yeah,
Let's do
we're going to watch Captain N.
That's right.
I could watch you all day, baby.
The
Yeah.
Game Master.
What are we gonna watch you do?
Watch me do, yeah. Fuck. You know, people who listen to this don't actually know that's my online handle on Discord. I'm just saying that sentence to explain it so they get the joke.
Right.
There you go. There you go. A little bit of lore for you guys.
Nothing is funnier than a joke you have to explain.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man.
100%. Talking about explanations that I just don't fucking get, and the Legend of Zelda TV series. So we get the episode where Link gets hit by the beam from Ganon's new staff. So Ganon has this brand spanking new staff that he's just firing about with reckless abandon, and it hits Link and separates him from his physical body. It doesn't kill him because I guess he's used too much of its power, and it only serves to separate him from himself. So the rest of the episode you get a ghost Link following Zelda around, and at one point, completely fucking out of the blue, Ganon, who I assume created this wand, is like, "Oh no, yeah, she can see him because she loves him." And I'm just like, how the fuck do you know that for a start? Like, is this something that you put in? Is this an ability you gave to the wand yourself, and why? It's just like, how did that explanation come about? And absolutely fucking no, she doesn't. Like,
because everything is a plot device to move the plot forward. Like, they have the right item at the right time, or some episodes at the beginning, Link kills a moblin, and all of a sudden there's like, hey, there's a bomb or something that comes in handy later. I
I can forgive. It's kind of like, the enemies drop items after you kill them in the games, fair enough. But it's just like, you created this wand to literally kill people on sight. Like, why does it have this secondary function of, like, Patrick Swayzeing people as well? Like, what is this?
Gives a lot of, like, make shit up as you go along vibes.
Well, it really is. I mean, the entire
again,
thing
like, who
is,
cares, right?
I think they rolled a couple of dice there, and they went down a sheet like, all right, in this episode, Zelda gets kidnapped. And then they're like, but how do we save her? And it's like, well, why not drop this plot thing? The Triforce all of a sudden rhymes out some obvious answer to the thing. Like, that was something that bothered me. Is the Triforce giving those friggin' clues all the time? It's like, in order to win, you must do something stupid. And then they'd be like, oh, why didn't I think of that stupid thing to do?
Yeah.
I think it was...
Oh, that's wisdom, all right.
Yeah, I think that was the episode where they did the water park, and it's like, how do we get Daddy back? And it's like, in order to get him, you must swim to the bottom. And like, it's like, I already looked at the bottom. And then after that, they go back to the water, and all of a sudden Zelda has a magical power of giving them breathing helmets.
Just because.
Yes. Yeah.
Just like, fucking, why not? Why not?
It's just like,
Jesus Christ.
You didn't have this last episode when they were drowning. Like, why all of a sudden can you do it now?
Because it's whatever you want it to be, except good.
But I wanted it to be good.
Yeah, I kind of did want it to be good, or at least entertaining. It was not.
Honestly,
here's
these
another
episodes... Go on.
Yo, you want to know another positive? Is that the episodes themselves are only about 12 minutes long.
You know, that is literally what I was going to say, but from another angle altogether. I was literally about to say these episodes are about 12 to 15 minutes long.
And that's about 13 minutes too long.
They feel like watching 13 episodes of this felt like 6 months of my life.
Well, don't do it all in a row. I would not suggest like sitting and watching them all in a row if you're going to.
I could do 2 at a time.
This is what pisses me off, because like the way you fuckers were talking, I thought you were way ahead of me. So I was like cannonballing my way through these. It's just like 3 or 4 at a time, because I thought, oh shit, I'm falling behind these guys. And now you tell me, oh, I just finished an episode 20 minutes before we started. And I'm just like, for fuck's sake.
You've been done for weeks because you spent one terrible afternoon watching the whole thing.
Me and my wife fought. We fought because of this show, and we were both on the same side.
I'm not joking.
Not like it.
She did not make it through the opening Moblin fight.
There is a reason I don't let my, well, it's not that I don't let her, it's I don't invite her to partake in this kind of stuff, because I know my relationship is, based around the idea that she doesn't know how stupid of stuff I do. So I just live this fake life inside of this office, and she doesn't know about the games I play or the shows I watch, just so she doesn't think I'm a complete moron.
She clearly doesn't listen to this show then, because we're all
she
fucking
doesn't.
morons.
She goes, I keep having to listen to your show, and she's like, 63 episodes behind now? It's like, I don't care if you listen to it or not. I mean, it's not her thing. She's not somebody who likes retro video games.
Well, I tell you what, we're
neither
a
are
lot
the makers of this
fucking
show.
TV show.
Yeah. But I keep trying to kiss her, and she keeps telling me no, and then every time she says yes, the dog bites me in the leg or something. It sets off a 12-minute
obviously got to try
adventure.
some flowers.
Try some flowers, yeah. The zip line down.
Just try
Zelda,
some flowers.
unbuckle your pants.
Do you know what? I've come to the conclusion that Ganon is just trying to do the right and noble thing. I think Ganon is the hero of the entire show, because every time Captain fucking pervert there decides to put the moves on, good guy Ganon comes along and cock blocks him.
Yeah.
And I salute you, sir. I salute you.
Ganon, you're a goddamn hero. You have saved Zelda from more sexual assaults than I can even imagine, and I think I've said sexual assault too many times on this episode.
Ganon is an ally.
I think you might have.
It's starting to sound weird. You know when you say a word over and over and it just doesn't sound right? Or, yeah. I think we're getting to that point.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
But
like
you're right.
Skibbity.
Ganon is the hero of the show. He's the most redeeming character of the entire show because he's singularly focused on getting the Triforce. That is his whole reason. He doesn't care about anything. He just does stupid little friggin' things to get the Triforce, and that's it.
And his voice is awesome.
Yes. The only thing I don't get is why do they always try to sneak in through Link's room? Okay, that's the other thing. Sometimes Link is sleeping with the Triforce in his room. Other times the Triforce is in like a different room in the castle. Do you notice that?
You know,
Again, no rhyme or reason, no continuity because
No.
kids are dumb.
I mean,
Why wouldn't it be in another room just hanging out? I mean,
absolutely.
In a
I'm sure there's
castle-
a very good explanation.
Yeah, in a castle without regular guards. And Zelda continuously telling him, yeah, you got to go away from your guard duty to go sweep the basement with the guy who builds a robot.
do you think Ganon and Zelda are actually in cahoots?
Oh, probably.
Because he's saying
Would
like,
make sense.
distract him. I'll get the Triforce while he's sweeping and cleaning toilets.
I don't want to actually want the Triforce. I just want Zelda, but Link can't know about it, so we use it as an excuse.
That being said, he does claim to like want Zelda as my bride.
Yeah, he just wants to
episode.
make her
Oh,
happy.
God. Oh, that was
Yeah.
so dumb. The worst part,
out
the
of nowhere.
worst. Fuck. Oh, what are you doing to Zelda? Says Link. I'm controlling her. And if you had not said that, it would have been believable that she was doing it of her own free will.
Just to get out of that fucking shitty situation at home.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Like, oh, God. Why is everybody so dumb in this?
I don't know. Do
It's
you know what would have been
bad.
better? And you know what one of the best things about watching this show was?
It ended?
Yes, I do because I
No.
couldn't find any.
It started. It started with the fucking intro to a much better TV show. Like every time I turned it on, I got that fucking brilliant Mario
Oh, yeah.
Brothers rap. And
Yeah,
it's
it
just
doesn't
like-
have its own theme song really.
It sort of has an intro.
Well, right,
Oh,
but
yeah,
it doesn't
does
have
every
like
episode.
but the main theme for the show is definitely the Super Mario Brothers one.
Yeah, which tricks you into thinking you're watching something you might actually enjoy.
Well, it's because
Yeah,
the
that show-
entire show was based around the Super Mario Brothers show. This is
Yeah,
not something
yeah.
that ever would have held up on its own.
No, this
You
is
know what?
definitely a tag along.
Yeah. You want to know what the funniest part about this whole episode for us right now is? I actually came in here with the idea that I was going to battle Alan and, we'd fight over Link is the worst, Zelda's the worst. But as we've talked, I've realized, and I hope you guys knew this already, they're all just the worst. And I was like,
it's
I
just
had
all
some
bad.
positive outlook because this is part of my childhood. And now you guys have just darkened my heart a little bit.
Cool.
Welcome to 2025. Brian.
Yeah, it's the first episode of the new year, and I'm
Come
going to
on,
be a little
swinging.
bit. I'm going to be a little bit absent more often because of my schooling, and now I'm sad.
Well, the only way is up from here.
That is true.
That is true.
Unless you're Link, the only way is down.
Yep.
Down
you
into
go.
Zelda's room.
On a zip line.
I got nothing left to talk about this show. I think we
No.
kind of like shotgun the entire thing. Oh, yeah, that's my last point. Is how Link's sword is basically a goddamn shotgun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's always firing. Like you have to have full health for that. Like,
Yeah,
for him
he
to be a
gets
real
hit
nerd
and he
about
still
it.
fires.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
No, Sam, I back you on that.
all right. Cool. I'm glad we can all be. I'm glad we can all be mouth breathing nerds about this.
Yeah, exactly. Most breeding
Wait a second,
nerds
though.
from 2025. who,
Actually, can we each pick before we get out of here? Can we each pick a favorite episode? Do we have one?
oh my god, I have to look at the episodes again.
I don't know. I can pick a favorite episode of another show.
Yeah, my favorite episode is not any of these.
They're all just so dumb. It's just like every time I look at one of these and just think, oh yeah, that could be my favorite episode. It's just like, well, no, because
Then you remember
That
something about
happens.
the episode. Yeah, that's what's going through my mind right now. Is like,
like I
favorite-
would have said,
Yeah,
oh, it's a three-way.
I got my favorite premise at least.
What's your favorite
Go ahead.
premise?
The most promising premise was there was one where the Triforce broke apart in pieces because they were actually successful in at least stealing it out of the castle tower, and then Zelda was able to see where it was because she was getting like premonitions or whatever. Like the pieces were like talking to each other. They had one piece left, and then they knew that one was underwater and one was like in a volcano or something like that. Like that was cool. That could be like a cool plot for a video game. You know, like it broke apart, but like we know where it is because we know kind of where it is, just not the exact location.
Thinking about it, that's kind of the plot of the first game because you're getting pieces of the Triforce to put back together.
That's true. Yeah.
That I liked. That was the only one I liked.
I'm just looking through an episode list here, and I'm just like reading through, and just like this one sentence just says, "Oh, Link displays somnambulism in the middle of the night and unconsciously sneaks towards Zelda's room." And it's just like, for fuck's sake!
Is that what we're calling that?
Yeah, he was following his divining rod. I suppose the thing is, it's just like, I want to say like the last episode, not just because it's the last episode. It's just like and again, it's the premise of the thing. It's just like Link's been separated from his body. He's the one who's effectively been captured. Zelda has to go and save the day. And I'm like, all right, I'm on board with this. But then it just takes a fucking nosedive when it's like, Zelda loves him and blah, blah, blah. And suddenly, Link's been reunited with his body and saves the day. And it's just like, I guess. But it started off with potential.
Yeah, my favorite premise, because my last episode was the Moblins are revolting, and that's where they go get the Triforce of Power. I thought they were actually going to get it, and that was going to be a conclusion arc for the thing.
Nope.
But then, of course, Link fucks it up. But
that pissed me off so much.
So genuinely. I was actually kind of excited at the premise that they closed down the loop, that this series has now ended after the 13 episodes, and then of course they fuck it up at the end there. So I think the premise to shut it down, and they get the Triforce of Courage Power and Wisdom back together, and that's how the whole thing ends. But no, they couldn't even do that.
That's the most disappointed I've been since not getting a resolution to the Pirates of Dark Water. And if you know, you know.
What a pull. No, I haven't. I don't remember how that ended.
I don't think it did.
I do remember that show being awesome.
God, I hate when that happens. It's like that. I really got into that show with Jason Lee. My Name is Earl.
Oh, they didn't end that one either?
Yeah, and they had a cliffhanger ending and ready for the next season. They got canceled, and they were never allowed to conclude the cliffhanger. I was just like, you dicks. Now I can't rewatch the show because I know it's just going to leave me blue-balled. That show's my Zelda.
Man, I don't know why or how, for as powerful as Nintendo is with burying things that they don't want out, I can't believe that this is so easy to stream just pretty much anywhere. As long as you have, in the United States at least, as long as you have an Amazon Prime account, which a lot of us do, you can just watch this, and it's awesome.
It's on YouTube. There's no point in hiding it anymore.
It's just everywhere.
I suppose.
But
I don't think it doesn't tarnish the games at all. It's just it's an odd little curiosity. It's a snapshot of a very weird time for animation, and
right.
I don't think burying it would do any good or any harm.
People would find it would be a black eye.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind it getting buried, but
right.
Yeah, it's there. It's harmless, and I'll never watch it again. Not entirely happy about watching it this time, but there it is.
Right,
I will settle one thing before we go. Brian, you said the Moblins Are Revolting was your last episode. That is actually the last episode that aired on December 1st, 1989. I looked it up here.
Boom.
And Missing Link is episode 12, but when we watched it in sequence, I don't know, they got flipped or something, or they went by production number or something, because if you watch the series, and not that these episodes are continuous in any way, but if you watch it on Amazon, they've got those two flipped.
Oh, there you go. See, you're right, Brian.
I'm always am.
Well,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah.
So another one might be in a different spot. Some of these are in different spots, I think.
Well,
Oh, maybe not. It's just those
I don't think
two.
we need to
Whatever.
go through
I
the
don't know.
entire
It's not
list.
important.
Yeah,
it's not
if
important.
you
Everyone
if
go
you
watch the
them
whole
out
thing.
Yeah, you can watch it on random, and you're going to miss nothing.
No.
You
Or
could not
go
watch it
outside
and
and touch grass.
or yeah, you're not gonna, or don't watch it at all, and you're still gonna miss nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Just
All right,
say,
lads.
well, excuse me, over and over, and you got the entire plot of the show.
There you go.
All right, Alan, you're going to go last because I feel like you're going to have a lot to monologue on this one. Sam, do you want to go first?
Yeah, it's just
Sum it
gonna
up,
be like
give it a score.
Yeah, it's bad. You can watch it if you want to. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10, and that's with the positives that we mentioned. You know, being, you know, maybe some of Zelda's characterization, the music, the sound effects, the animation isn't horrible, but the rest is. So 2.
2. All right, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into that because this was a childhood show for me. Like, I was of the generation that grabbed the bowl of cereal Saturday morning and then sat 2 feet away from the TV and watched all these shows. This was part of the rotation. I think I talked to my brother about this a while ago. I don't remember. But I know we were very big in the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. And, you know, this came on, like I said, every Friday after school. And then I had good memories of it. But, yeah, rewatching it from this modern lens where we've evolved as people very much since the 80s, it's not good. And the positives you even mentioned, Sam, like even the animation is kind of crappy in the sense that
Yeah, I mean, it's not good, but it's
you
could
can
at least
tell it
look
was
at it.
yeah, you can tell it was like quickly done. It almost felt like you know, the B team was up to make a series for you know, this stellar Super Mario Brothers show. But
yeah.
I'm trying to think of something positive to say now that we've talked about it, and I think you guys have tainted me. You've killed little Brian just a little bit today. I'm going to go with a 1. This is going to actually get a 1 for me. I thought I would be giving it like at least a 5 or something, but no. I can't think of anything to defend this thing on. Link's a fucking pervert. She just leads him on, so she's not completely innocent on this two-sided relationship. Ganon is good, but he's a friggin' moron. I would love to see a Legend of Zelda show that actually takes the time to give the characters their due. Link doesn't need to be, you know, thirsty, you know, sex trap, and Zelda can be the powerful woman she is in Breath of the Wild, you know, in other series that she has appeared in, like Ocarina of Time. Ganon can actually be a force to be reckoned with, not a bumbling idiot. So yeah, that is my final thoughts on this. Alan, please send us home. Did I lose you guys?
No, I'm here.
Nope. It's shit. I hated it. Half a point. Good night, everybody.
He was just revving
I
up
was-
for that.
I was really hoping you'd really tell us how you felt. I thought you were ready.
I mean,
No,
listen.
he would-
Do I have to? I think I've made myself abundantly clear what I think about this show, and it gets a half a point for Ganon, for good guy Ganon, and his performance was good.
I've never heard
Nope.
you speechless before. You usually sum stuff up in such a poetic way, and over their discussion over the week, I really thought you had some held-in, pent-up expression you wanted to give on this, and you finish it off with that. I feel like Link right now. I feel unsatisfied.
God.
Well, excuse me, Brian.
All right, on that note, boys, thanks again for another beginning of a great year with a terrible TV show. I guess we can't say a game. Again, if you want to join in on the conversation, you can join us on our Patreon at patreon.com/Retrotopia. All right, so we're going to end the episode here. And Alan, I'm going to give you the final word. You got anything for us?
Oh, Brian, why do I always have to be the one to do it?
Well, excuse me, princess.
Oh, that's awful.
Oh.